Alright, folks, we're doing this one again. I messed this up pretty badly last time and got locked into a gambling loop. Let's avoid that. We will rewatch the intro, though, because, yes. I'm jacking the volume down on my side so I don't go deaf. Once again, a lot of names in here. A couple of them we probably recognize from when I did Dr. Brain. You know, who could imagine back then companies were small enough that you could actually recognize the names of people across multiple projects. And also, I guess games didn't take quite as long as a general rule to create. Mostly. And of course, back then they tended to last you about as long as games do nowadays through occasionally some sleazy methods. I mean, let's be real here, we are playing a Sierra game, so yeah, when it comes to the idea of there occasionally being a little bit of cheese involved in making the game last longer on the shelf, well, kind of have some champs of that here. Yeah, basically, when you got 10 programmers, you can name them all. Exactly. Yes, our spaceship is being attacked by a giant insect, basically. Uh-oh. Oh, that robot is having a problem. You're startled by the sound of an alarm. Breaking through it, the intercom crackles with the frightened voice of a technician shouting that the Arcada has been boarded by unknown intruders. Transmission ends abruptly in a soundstorm of white noise, soon overtaken by the cold din of silence.
Destruct
Hear the
sequence is engaged.
Yes, hear the robot say
15
that.
minutes till destination.
Better stop sitting there and thinking. We gotta go, and I'm going to game speed up, and I'm also gonna click. I can probably delete all these states from last time real quick because yeah, we're not going back to that place. Yeah, farewell, all this old progress that mostly just got us stuck in a loop of going gambling. Just like that meme. And yeah, because it's a little finicky, you gotta click on the edges a little bit hard sometimes. And it's a bit of a pain in the ass because I'm playing this windowed, so you can quite easily end up with our mouse cursor going outside the window. Oop. Coming Syrian soldiers. Thankfully, they're satisfied they don't hear anything. We can just sneak back on screen basically with them. And we want to go over here and loot this man's corpse. Thank you, Gerald. back we go. Really, is now the time? Alright, and here comes this guy fumbling in to die horribly. Ugh. Go talk at him. Lips move. He utters stars. That's our password. This is an anti-piracy thing. Because remember, back in the day, this is how they did it. They would shove stuff in the manual instead of making you install fucking de novo so that way your game worked worse. And thankfully, I have this anti-piracy chart up here for us all to enjoy. Which some people might be like, oh, well, this is a thing you shouldn't do because of legal reasons. Well, first of all, the game is like 30 years old. Second of all, I don't remember if this version of it is actually... Oh, also, I failed to pick up the thing, didn't I? Yep. Okay, so that's a good idea by my end. So let's re-enter the code. As I guess the drone ends up being a little bit out of reach if I do that. And am I... Oh, hey. Trying to grab the thing out of the dude's... Yeah, I mean, that's not necessarily surprising that it's like, okay, it's still emulated. Emulators are not a legal concern as much as Nintendo really wants to often try to make that be a thing. It's always been like game images, but ultimately my thing is that like nobody's fucking buying this right now, right? Nobody cares about this anymore. And it's several times more severe of a like who fucking cares kind of thing, as it were. When I was doing the other game, when I played Dr. Brain, that one I don't even believe is available for sale anywhere, like not even on GOG. So that is a pretty serious who even gives a damn sort of thing, right? Like, why would you care about whether or not someone is pirating a game you literally do not sell? Other than the fact that publishers of all media legitimately only exist for one purpose and one purpose only. This is a widget. It is sticking out. Well, we just picked up a thing. Weird magnety. It's a genuine widget! You're not sure what it does, but it's heavy, it looks cool, and it might be magnetic. Please keep this away from the game disc. Yeah. Oh, I remember the days of yeah. Anyway, yeah, publishers are holding companies, you know? They exist specifically to make it harder for people to have things. And this is an opinion I do not believe to be controversial, except among, well, publishers. And quite frankly, who gives a shit what they think? You might be like, well, you need them in order to actually, well, all those games that you like. Personally, I'm increasingly of the opinion that, like, we don't need more new games. A. And two, self-publishing is increasingly a thing that is a little bit doable. I mean, obviously, there's still some level on which saying that is a bit of a stretch. Also, these guys appear to not leave except when you're in certain positions, so that's slightly befuddling. Like, yes, I suppose that Steam should not be regarded as self-publication because that's still a that's still, you know, Valve publishing your game in a sense, distributing it, which distributor, publisher, it's all tied together. This time, by the way, we should be able to do the gambling thing without having to actually gamble, so that's good. Guys, there we go. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, things are a lot more doable now than they used to. That's the big takeaway. And I don't really believe that the sort of, you know, you might say on some level that okay, you can't get the same kinds of numbers that you would when, you know, without like a big publisher, but games don't need to sell GTA 6 levels of copies, you know? And on top of that, hey, I'm trying to click on the spacesuit. On top of that, you know, who wants to even beat those games, right? But I digress. Anyway, we should be good to go now, I believe. So, buckle up. Press the power button. Yank the throttle. And, well, if there was anything important there, we have lost it. Now, real quick, I do want to show off... There's a couple of deaths that I would love to show off just by virtue of them being funny, weird, and... funny, weird. We press the button. That button is labeled never press this button. I apologize for skipping over a lot of the descriptions. We'll definitely get back to a place of, like, looking at things more at some point. For now, though, let's have a look at what happens when we crash land into Robin of the Wood. Or whatever this game is called. I've forgotten already. I apologize. Find out soon. Ouch! I think we've got some serious organ damage here, folks. All of them, of course, could easily be replaced in the time period from which you just arrived. However, a quick scenery check reveals that you are now in the Dark Ages. The only transplant you'll get here is from carcass to spit over flame. I don't know, you could probably get some leeches shoved up your ass or something. As you draw a few final lungfuls of oxygen through your newly acquired sucking chest wound, you gleefully notice your final resting place is near beautiful Nottingham Castle, universally renowned for its inclusion in Sierra's Conquests of the Longbow. Yes, I love intercompany advertisements, especially when they're fun like this, and while there's a lot of things you can say about Western games, a big thing is that you did have companies like Sierra and the like who were genuinely very funny. Oh my goodness, you're shocked to hear some highly inflammatory language make its way into your auditory canals. Must be some uncivilized ruffians in the nearby pub. Check out that skeleton. Oh, you're dead again. We even warned you not to push that button. You have no one to blame but yourself for having to sit through a plug for another fine Sierra product. Maybe you'll follow directions next time. Thanks for playing and all that stuff. Anyway. And just to prove, by the way, this button is not to be pushed at any time. So instead we press the other one. That sets our autopilot to the planet of Corona, which is perhaps not an ideal landing place, but, you know. Thank you for flying Arcata Getaway Pod Lines. It's nearly been a pleasure serving you. Tell a friend if you've got one. Alright, where's our... Click the seatbelt up there? Yeah, that's fine, actually. Okay. Well, we're out here in the middle of the desert with nothing but a widget and a other things that we can probably swallow to die, so we're gonna loot everything. Both that piece of glass and that weird leathery package. It's a survival kit. Crack this thing up. Not with that, we can't. And upon opening the survival kit, you discover a Xenon army knife and a canister of dehydrated water. Dehydrated water, you know. A thing that absolutely makes sense to exist. The can label says Pelvatron Dehydrated Water H2, which makes it even less sensible than usual. Dehydrated water, but it's literally all hydrogen. Shouldn't it be, like, just pure oxygen then? All you add is air. Makes 10 gallons. Caution, do not attempt to open a ruptured container. Misuse could result in personal injury and or flash flooding. So I assume it to be explosive, then, just on the basis of that. Let this worm serve as a warning to you that this desert is a deadly place. And not just from the dehydration, which is very likely to happen to us as well. Saving. Get the... Okay, yeah, I got the... It's literally... Yep. That's yet another of those things that you can just lose the game if you fail to pick up. Anyway, I briefly forgot there that I did not go and pick this thing up. Whoops. Yeah, we need the weird gross leaf here. That stuff sticks worse than Fortnite old undergarments. Good thing your gloves are Teflon coated. Teflon. It is also, interestingly, I've seen someone use Teflon to burn stuff with, just like powdered Teflon. And you might think, oh, but Teflon is supposed to be very unreactive, and sure, under most circumstances, but due to it being, uh, like, I'm trying to think of the correct term to use for it. It's basically ethylene, but with a lot of fluorine on it. And that probably doesn't mean much to most people who don't chemistry, but fluorine is highly reactive. Fluorine is so reactive that hydrogen fluoride gas can react with your bones from outside of your body and effectively kind of eat some of your bone calcium, I believe. Rats. If the eyes don't deceive, that's a Sarian spider droid. They must have detected the escape pod leaving the Arcata. Spider droid must have been sent along to settle any unfinished business. After the jarring impact, small panels open through which legs sprout. Recall reading in an old issue of Space Piston magazine that this droid was designed to seek out organic life forms and self-destruct when close proximity to the target has been achieved. That means run, buddy. What? Yes, you should run better than that. There goes our helmet. How convenient. You've been blown into handy, bite-sized chunks. I guess that Space Piston article wasn't fiction. Nothing quite like stretching out and enjoying the wide open spaces. Yes, I do love when the article when the death sequence ends in a really goofy joke. Ah. Like a tradition in it's kind of reminiscent rather of um deaths from things in like Crash Bandicoot and games of that nature. Just that it wasn't done with words in those games, but I appreciate that sort of thing. if you're gonna give somebody a failure state, you may as well make it a fun one, right? And that's one of the things that a lot of devs don't necessarily understand super well. You know, David Cage out there like, oh, well, game overs are a failure of the game developer. I could talk about a lot of other things that are failures of the game developer, and most of them were done by David Cage for other reasons, but, you know, I don't think that's true as long as you can make losing as fun as winning. Yeah, if we just corner this hard enough, we'll get there. Oh, hey, I guess we're getting to this place so fast that the spider ball hasn't dropped yet. Uh, hey, dumbass, you want to go in the direction I'm trying to send you in? Jesus, making me click on literally every picture. But yes, you can't walk over this spinal cord area 3 times, otherwise it will explode. And by that I mean it will just crumble. But listen, that's like exploding if you don't know anything. And off it goes in search of. Oh, I wish I could figure out how to get it to go blow up Orat. It would solve many of my problems at once. I could keep my can of dehydrated water. Oh, slight spoiler for an upcoming puzzle. Apologies. Nice cutscene for being 4 frames of animation of a sprite and a background. That's pretty solid. Hey, what's the deal here? That elevator doesn't lower. It sucks. Now we pick this thing up. Flex those incredible muscles you wish you had, but you're barely able to snap loose the previously fractured stalagmite tip. Oh yeah, I probably should have pointed out the fact that there was like a one line of pixel there, but you guys can see that because... You have anything special to say about the weird, like, blob of bubblegum now? Answer so far appears to be no. I'm gonna wait to do that, actually. So we do some stuff in this. First thing we want to do, we got this guy here. What is this thing other than a weird hentai tentacle monster? It's a great monster. I'll bet he's lonely and just wants to be your friend. Well, you could walk up to him and get 8. Or chuck this weird sticky plant at it. And it does this thing. Oh yeah, affiliate anniversary, that's a thing. I forgot about that. I saw a notification for that on Twitch a couple of days ago, and it's like, hey, do you want to plan a celebration? No. Do I want to plan a celebration for the fact that I've been enslaved by a corporation for all of these years? Do I want to plan a celebration for the fact that they jacked up the prices of subscriptions and I'm not getting a bigger cut of the profits for this? Do I want to plan a celebration for the fact that Amazon claims that Twitch is not making them money, but it's Amazon, so quite frankly, they need to stop bitching and just actually make a service that continues for the, year. Anyway, don't worry, these guys don't snap out of the sticky plant as far as I know and eat you. Certainly I've never seen it happen. So what's up with this weird gemstone plate here? It's an odd, closed door with no apparent mechanism for opening it. The pulsating steam geyser. Well, thankfully, we have something that we can shove right into that Steam Deck in order to make it shut down. And the answer is that quite a few games that are Steam Deck approved, I suspect. Anyway, get a load of this green shit. Tiny cracks in the ceiling, several drops. Okay, so is that... There we go. I was like, why is it telling me about the droplets up there? I was befuddled. You gaze intently at the greenish pool of liquid, the first real sign of moisture on the planet. The pool seems to have no bottom. Excuse me. The gentle dripping has a soothing effect on your frazzled nerves. A small plume of mist rises as each drop hits the pool's surface. Oh, I'm willing to bet that that's acid. I'm turning the game speed down for a second so that way we can watch this. Because this is a good one. One of many really great deaths in this game. For a start, he does the goofy laugh. The aid of our How You Blew It cam and chalkboard. That's our, every time we mention something with a trademark or copyright, the lawyers come out to feed. It's the two guys from Andromeda. Yeah, I know, calling it a laugh is not correct, but I apparently couldn't think of the proper term here. Now this is where Roger makes the fatal move. And we can all see the result of that mistake. I don't know about you, Scott. Personally, I like to know exactly what I'm messing with before I actually mess with it. I guess he'll know better next time. Ouch! God, I love it. It's so stupid. Sure, you've died a few deaths before, but this one really burns you. Planets are depending on them. Seeing you do stuff like this is definitely making them nervous. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of things that are making me nervous here, too. Get off screen, please. Okay, so we've got some funny stuff going on here. What is this nightmare? Beams seem to form some sort of electronic barrier across the path. There are two metal units here which appear to be emitting beams of energy. Metal units here. Those are some big green stones. Anyway, let's just try to run through. Well, Scott, it looks like Roger has done it yet another time. It sure seems that way. For those that might have missed that last move by Roger, or if, like me, you just want another look at it, let's roll it again. Instant replay! Gotta give some high marks for truly fine execution. We'll have to give it a strong 9.8. I'm feeling a light to decent 9 on this one. Transition, restore scene, and let's just shove this piece of glass in there because apparently this glass is highly reflective. Which means that it absolutely will function to reflect lasers and not like a lens. You have quite cleverly turned the beam upon itself. Cleverly. Frying and fusing it into a state of inoperability. Well, I'm glad that's over. We gotta get those lasers back to the Pink Floyd show, but they may not want them anymore, you know? Yeah, we might be too close. Oh, that almost got us in a toe. You are unpleasantly surprised by a drop of searing acid which pours its way to your feet. Ooh! That's some seriously deep pain. Little bit, eh? Anyway, this room kind of sucks. Getting through this is a timing exercise that is extremely hard, and there's a certain degree of, like, RNG associated with how these acid droplets come down in each clip of them. So, here's our test of our reflexes for this adventure game. It feels like almost every adventure game has at least one very specific and awkward test of some sort of physical dexterity. At least this era. Like, if you think about stuff like the Mac Adventure ports on the NES, those aren't so much of a thing. Which that'd be Shadowgate, Deja Vu, Uninvited. I guess Myst didn't really have much reflex involved there. Not a whole lot of reflexology. I mean, I guess that, like, hashing out how the rotation of the Citadel on the Mechanical Age involved a little bit, but most of that was just thinking. But I mean, I think about stuff like this, and then there's the 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 parrot thing with the chicken in Starship Titanic that we played back on last week. Yes, on last week. Shut up. And that they're all kind of a little bit of an oddity to me as just being this thing that exists in these games, which otherwise are very cerebral in terms of what they want to be. The idea is supposed to be, hey, yeah, you know how to do puzzles, right? And then there's that much like execution involved. It does sometimes feel a little bit bizarre. As soon as you enter the room, you find yourself surrounded by darkness. Suddenly, you become aware of the fact that you cannot move or speak. Strange, unknown force has taken over. A massive holographic image appears before you. Oh, hey, look, it's Zinyak before he became famous. And also before he turned purple. It begins to speak. So you have found your way to my hallowed chamber. Fortunately, there is much more to you than meets the eye. I have been monitoring your travels on our planet. It appears that you are up the proverbial estuary without a means of locomotion. Why he sounds like that in my narration, I don't. In other words, you're on the Leather Express, slapping the dogs, pounding the sand, kill for a fine ride. You're on the Leather Express. That's a phrase. Who says... Well, I guess pounding the sand, at least. I've heard the phrase pounding sand, but the others... the others sound like complete bullshit, and I'll tell you what. Quote, on the Leather Express sounds like it is definitely not you're stuck hoofing it. That sounds like, well, something that you don't mention without your MPAA rating going up at least 1 or 2 notches. Can't believe Zinyak is played by the famous Arnold. Yeah, I know, right? You're obviously in need of transportation. Let us see if you are worthy of our assistance. On the surface lives a beast called Orat. He proves to be a bit of an annoyance on occasion. Dispose of him and bring back evidence of your conquest. Only then will I deal with your plight. Good luck, strange one. Bring to me evidence of the beast Orat's demise, and we'll talk. With that, you find yourself transported back to the surface. Ugh! You ever just get vomited out of a worm skeleton's mouth? Oh god! Why? Oh, that was stupid! Oh shit! I just immediately walked over and died. Classic. Is it any wonder that the Sierra imprint isn't really used anymore? Yeah, well, this should go automatically at least up until the phrase Leather Express shows up again. My god. That's... quite frankly, that should have been exactly what I expected. Mr. Wilco, you're on the Leather Express. And once again, the worm goes, ugh, and we're out. Okay. Save so that way we don't do that embarrassing shit again. Hey guys, remember that time I just exited the worm and immediately died? That's about what I expect out of a Sierra game. Alright, so let's go in here. We know that water can be explosive, so hey dude, you want this? Borat, always in the mood for a snack, snatches the can out of the air with his spacious oral cavity, chews and swallows it. I mean, I'd spit it out at the first taste of metal, but maybe this guy's not so discerning. You notice there's a rumbling deep within his abdomen. And kaboom. We collect his toenail or something. Reach down and take the Orat part in your hand. Some of it oozes to fill the space between your fingers. Ew. Alright, what is it? Now it looks more like a whole finger. Get tooth. This cute little item is an Orat part. You're not sure what part though. Yeah, let's continue to not find out what part it is. I mean, yeah, it could be a phallus of some description. It has got at least part of the shape. Hey, fuckboy up here! Stands here taunting the robot spider for... Oh, thanks, dude. I can die all on my own. Anyway, speaking of dying all on our own, we get to go back to the acid droplets anyway. Yeah, unfortunately, that doesn't work with FFZ emotes, which, I mean, fair, because it's not a... It's not a Twitch thing, but, you know. It is kind of sad. Speaking of giant dicks, as I'm sitting here like, actually, who's been in the news lately? I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. I mean, obviously there's, like, political kind, but it's too easy, isn't it? Anyway, we get to save before we get to do this puzzle again. Puzzle. Yeah, let me see. Think here for a second. See, I think I saw a headline in passing earlier today. Oh, my voice, I think, cracked a little bit. So dried out. I should probably go refill my water bottle, but I'll do that in a couple of minutes after I'm done with this bullshit. I think I saw a news headline earlier today. It's like, oh yeah, RFK Jr. wants to have thimerosal removed from vaccines, and I'm just like, yeah, good. Glad we got on that. Didn't we already do that 20 years ago? In part of a thing about people being like, oh, there's mercury in it. Which, God, if you people knew what else there was mercury in. There's a whole planet made out of that shit. Oh. That's a bad joke, I'm sorry. But how many of my jokes are actually good, right? I mean, ultimately, it is part of RFK's crusade against autism, because that's what a lot of people are still like, oh, well, the thimerosal is the thing that causes autism from vaccines, which it doesn't happen, you fucking morons! You... I'm not even going to try to come up with a creative insult here because like, the only thing that I can think of to say is, like, I'm about this close to being like, I can't hear you fuckers over the sounds of your knuckles dragging on the ground. And I'm pretty sure that if I say that, that's, like, considered to be an actual problem. But you know, I've said worse. People I follow on stream have said worse, just, like, offhandedly, so... And people I've known have said significantly worse, but... Again, part of it, I suppose, is, like, growing up in the edgelord internet. I was talking about that on Blue Sky yesterday when I said something like, oh, well, this thing makes me sound tasteless. But I sort of had this moment of realization of, like, oh, somebody could read that, and be, like, very, very upset about it. Either a psychotic fan or the person who created the thing that I was talking about. And, oh, whoops, I said psychotic. I apologize. Am I allowed to say crazed? Anyway, yeah, like, people have said a lot of very tasteless things across a lot of period, and I know a lot of people who are still, like, occasionally very, brusque, we'll put it, because they are significantly older than I am. One dude that I follow on stream, which would be Brysolf, who does the TRB thing, is like 45. So, dude has been on the internet for far longer than I have. Possibly literally longer than I have been alive. And sometimes he still says things that are slightly raw, like, we're not talking slurs or anything, but sometimes he can say some things that certainly the children would cry, you know? We'll talk to Zinyak in a second. I want to try to get my spiel out here. But, yeah, it was sort of like one of these things I had to go into it that's like, yeah, I've been on the internet far too long, sort of thing. So I know that people are sometimes just wont to barge in on conversations that are not their own and just be like, ha, cringe at random people. And, you know, just insult people directly to their face. And it makes me think about this Mike Tyson bit one time where he said something about, like, oh, yeah, people on the internet aren't afraid of getting punched in the face, and that's a shame. Not his exact words, but, you know, that sort of idea, which, I mean, I don't disagree with him. I think maybe it's a little bit like, oh, Mike Tyson is borderline threatening to punch me. That's a little bit terrifying, but regardless, yeah, point here is that vaccines do not cause autism, and you're a fucking moron if you believe that. You are just the dumbest MFer possible. But I think that RFK's whole, oh, we should get rid of thimerosal thing, first of all, I thought we already did get rid of thimerosal, and second of all, you just know, this guy wanted to make a registry of people who were, I think it was like all mental health, but it might have been specifically autism, but he's had a very specific crusade against this for a while, and I think that a large part of that is tied up with the whole anti-vax thing. They are comorbid conditions of the worm-eaten mass that is his brain. But also, I think that a lot of people have just sort of had a very severe idea about people with autism being a special kind of bad for a very long time. Maybe it's because we're actual free thinkers and none of them can form a cogent thought without outside assistance of some description, I guess. Yeah, why would you need a database of that? Could it be that he also was trying to push this idea of, like, it sounded like he wanted to make something that was basically tantamount to concentration camps for people who were mentally ill. And I mean this in the sense, you know, before somebody's like, don't call it a concentration camp because they're not specifically trying to kill anybody there. That's what a concentration camp means, you fucking idiot. Like, concentration camp does not inherently connote death. It indicates concentration of prisoners. I mean, yes, obviously there's a certain intent to 99% of them, but also, like, and obviously there's inherent mistreatment involved with shoving as many people into an area as possible, but it doesn't mean that there's a gas chamber there, you know? He's not going to necessarily build Auschwitz, and you can say that Alligator Alcatraz, or whatever the fuck they were calling it, is a concentration camp without it being Bergen-Belsen, you know? Anyway, here's Zinyak again. He's got things to say. I apologize for getting on this horrible rant. I kind of feel like a bad person sometimes when I do, like, politics, because I have this deep assumption that it annoys people, regardless of what their feelings are here. As an entertainer, I suppose that there is sort of this, like, inherent thing where I should be trying to lift spirits as opposed to making people feel bad. But, you know, I don't want to delve too deep into that. Anyway, silly things, I'm trying to think here. Phantom Assassin is a vegetarian. The real Phantom Assassin, not the stock one that Valve gives you if you haven't pledged enough fealty to them. Man, Dota lore pisses me off so much because they really just don't use it. Like, Valve has 3 games and a fucking cartoon for Dota 2. And they have, like, ungodly amounts of lore. Like, if you wanted to do a full, like, a whole-ass lore Bible on it, I think that putting together all the lore into a single book, you'd have more for that than, like, FF14 or something. Or it would be several times longer than Homestuck or some shit like that. And it's just like, they so don't do anything with it. Okay, they've got Dota, they've got Auto Chess, they've got a card game, and none of those have, like, any sort of real story mode type of thing to them, and they so need it. Like, dude, you've got 110 plus characters, and you have all of these different factions and stuff that you've just been... It's kind of clear that they've just been making this shit up as they go, and obviously because it originates from Ice Frog just being like, okay, here's this thing that sounds, like, cool and fun and entertaining. Let's just throw all these things that sound cool together, and we'll worry about that half past never because it's turned into an esport. And we all know that gamers can't read, so they're not going to care about any of the lore. But it makes me sad because I'm deranged. Anyway, my point here is that Outworld Devourer, I was, like, reading some of his lore, and it's like, wow, he sounds like he's depressed. Because he knows about the end of the world. And, like, big fucking mood, you know? I actually kind of love Outworld Devourer, even though he is, like, the stupidest, worst character. God, imagine playing Outworld Devourer. Oh, shit. He's now called Outworld Destroyer. I apologize. For anybody who's like, oh, you're saying the name wrong, my problem is that I'm old. Before that, he was known as Obsidian Destroyer in Dota 1, if I recall correctly. And there is or was a recurring joke of just making his name into various word sentences that are O and D together. Obsidian Destroyer, Outworld Devourer, Outworld Destroyer, Overwhelming Oh. Anyway, Zinyak. Sorry, I got distracted. Again, the massive holographic image appears to you. So, you have returned. You have proof of the destruction of Orat. If so, drop it before me. Oh, I inserted a comma there where there wasn't one. I apologize. Sorry, sir. How about this toenail? Will that do for Will that help make up for my bad grammar? You drop the orite part to the ground. The vision is silent as the dainty morsel splats to the dry soil. You are startled by a rumbling. Suddenly, an oddly shaped door comes into view and slowly opens. You hear a voice, different this time, beckoning you to step forward. Get in here, nerd. That's what it said, I think. You step through the door slides closed with a faint hissing sound. You are alone in a large room full of strange equipment. Please don't be alarmed. We intend no harm. We are a peaceful race. We are cautious, however. Excuse me. Others don't share our way of life. Welcome to Corona. You are standing in the power generation facility of our underground settlement. All power here is produced by steam. That is unimportant to you, however. We have promised you transportation. It is a skimmer. It hovers approximately 1/2 meter above the traveling surface. This is very important because of Grell. Grell Sutcliffe from... Was that her name? Their name? God. Pronoun hell. Whatever, you guys don't need to know about that. I missed like half of the dialogue because I was about to turn this into a joke about Greel, which is... Well, the name Greel shows up in a lot of things, obviously. Very easy. It's Greel, but... I was going to be a magic joke. Anyway, I'm sorry this is all we can offer. I hope your trip is a safe one. Board the skimmer when you're ready to depart. Good luck, strange one. Bro, you can't just ask people why they're white. But before we go, we have to go and shove this cartridge in here. So that way we can get Atris's message. Whoever shall read this, my name is Dr. Slash Vohall. Dr. Nash the Slash Vohall. I am a scientist with the Star Generator Project aboard the Starship Arcata. We have just successfully completed development and testing of the Star Generator. During this time, I have come to believe that our progress has been monitored by others. I fear that the Sarians may have learned of our mission. If my fears prove true, the Star Generator and the people of our universe are in serious jeopardy. Star Generator is a miraculous device. Used as intended, it will help preserve life for eons to come. Used as a device for evil, it would cause the destruction of millions of lives and enslave all who oppose the Sarians. That's right, they would use it to generate stars, I guess. They just create a red dwarf near somewhere and they kill a bunch of... Actually, Red Dwarf is a pretty alright series. I need to go back and watch that again at some point. Encoded within this cartridge are all the plans and specifications for the construction of the Star Generator. Should any disaster befall the Star Generator project, scientists would be able to create a duplicate of the Star Generator with this information. Please guard it with your life and return it to the Xenon ruling body as quickly as possible. Important. The Star Generator is capable of self-destruction. This was introduced to the system as a precaution. To activate it, one must enter the code 9598. So I'm going to write that down real quick. I'm just cracking open Notepad++ here. A 5-minute time will begin to count down. Beware, anyone within 5 kilometers of the Star Generator will be in danger once the power has been initiated. Be careful, and good luck! Sorry, it's in all caps, so you legally have to scream it. I don't make the laws because I think a lot of them are really stupid. Anyway, let's book it. Oops, had the darn thing in reverse. I hope nobody saw that. This section is an arcade sequence. Would you like the player to skip this sequence? Skip it. My understanding is that this does not affect your score if you skip. It just gives you more ways to die if you play through it. You know, classic Sierra, right? Maybe you could try playing the arcade sequence next time. Yeah, the game just roasts you. After a truly stone-crushing journey, you have miraculously arrived safely in Uhlens Flats. You get it? You get it? You get it? And just in time, too, because the skimmer's power cell has been drained. It takes some time to recharge itself. Oh, you don't? What age should I explain it to you like you are? This place isn't quite what you had expected. It is semi-bleak at best. An odd-looking fellow lounging against the wall of a nearby building, watching you with a great deal of interest. Get a load of this space pimp here. And the gigantic shoulders on that trench coat. What an absolute champ. Say, pal, I couldn't help noticing your skimmer. It's a genuine 86 Pleiades GL. I've been looking everywhere for one of these babies. How'd you like to unload it for the unheard of price of 25 buckazoids? We can get a better deal. Fine, be that way. I think if we just wait for a moment, comes back. We have to walk around. I don't believe... Oh, no, he's coming around the backside of the thing. Okay, buddy. You drive a hard bargain. This is my final offer, and I'm only making it because I see you need it pretty bad. I'll make it 30 buckazoids, and I'll throw in this swell jetpack. It's previously owned by a little old Thark who only flew it back and forth to planet Fleabutt on Sunday. It works great in zero gravity. You'll love it. We have a deal, or don't we? Oh, jetpack. That sounds like a million times better than a fucking skimmer, dude. It's a deal. Great. Glad we can do business. In addition, I'd like you to have these coupons good for discounts and free merchandise from some of our local merchants. As a... Why did I slip into that? As a representative of the Ulands Flats Chamber of Commerce, I hope you enjoy your visit to our friendly little community. This guy's like 6 accents at once. I apologize. White noise. Yeah, there you go. Those papers once deliver themselves as only the Sunday edition can do is that. Hey, look, it's ZZ Top. I'm gonna save real quick. Just FYI, for anybody who's like, what the fuck is this doing in the game? I didn't think that was a thing. It is normally removed from the game, but the files are still there. The ZZ Top version of the band was originally in, like, the older versions of the game. We're playing the VGA remaster. Remaster, I say with air quotes. Why the fuck did I say remaster? It came out in 1991. My brain is so broken by the modern video game industry. So, anyway, yeah, that was originally in, like, the older versions of the game, but they ended up changing it over to a Blues Brothers pastiche because that was a little bit too obvious and they were afraid of getting in some copyright related trouble. Which, to be fair, I get it, but I do, like, naturally, I think, prefer the one that's a little closer to the genuine article, just because I find it to be a little bit funnier. Anyway, back in a sec. I need some water before I die of making this noise. I'm back putting on my headset here. While we're here, real quick, I am going to change this image on our thing because we need a different anti-piracy code at some point. And we may as well have that up there so that way we can see. Sort of. Okay, so now that that guy is all cleaned up, let's go and check out this gambling machine. And unfortunately, we're going to need lots of money. So let's see how this goes. Now, it's just saving here, so never mind. But I'll show this off, you know, first time so we can see what this is like before we start actually cheating. Let him roll! You lose, homeboy! And you get immediately vaporized. Just, you die as soon as they feel like making you die. Which is pretty fast. Oh, this thing is... I should have had that prepped early. Whoops! I fucked up. I was going to have a soundbite play in the background, but I'm doing this in the jankiest way possible. So I... H.O. Oh, the ZZ Top song isn't playing. Well, that guy is currently reenacting some meme that I've seen on YouTube with, but yeah. So, how do we deal with the fact that gambling is a thing that sucks? Well, we attach a magnet to the device. And somehow nobody sees this, so we don't get killed for it. And that's it. We win every time. Now, there is an upper limit to what we're allowed to have, and I believe it's just shy of 300 buckazoids. So, quite frankly, we should still save while we're doing this, because if we go over the limit, we'll die. Oh, hey, there's our music back. That's right. It's like encumbrance in a Bethesda game, except you die immediately instead of just having to suffer. Yeah, 255. That ought to suffice for us. So let's go talk to the barman. I'll get to you in a sec. What a guy. So what's your beef, Junior? You want a beer? It'll cost 2 buckazoids. Yep. Everybody sounds like that for some reason in this galaxy. Whoops. Tastes better than it smells, thank goodness. Another one would be nice. Yo, how about a refill? We sound so rude about it. Ah, yes, that hits the spot. Just one more should do it. Well, thank you for the clue, Bat. Champ. I'm busy. Wait your turn. Yeah, but this is the only way I can get attention to eat. As you sip another of the odd brews, you overhear someone at the bar speaking. There I was, cruising through Sector HD. High definition. Let me put that into my file here. There I was, cruising through Sector HD when I spot this blip on the scanner. So I head toward it, you see, and right there in front of me sits the Deltor. It's just sitting there. My heart starts hyper-warping on me. I figure my milliseconds are numbered. All I can think of doing is getting my craft out of there. So I'm reaching for the throttle. All of a sudden, there's this incredible flash of light, you see? And just like that, this little planetoid explodes into a ball of fire. I tell ya, I've never seen anything like it. I mauled the throttle and got out of there quick, you bet. That was certainly a voice I did. But yeah, that, I guess, is probably informing us that the star generator is currently housed on the Deltor. We should probably go track that down. But we're done drinking at the bar. We got the information we need. Oh, who's this dude? Come to my attention that you may be in the market for some transport. I may be able to help. Follow me. I'd like to show you a fine little piece of machinery that'll knock your eyes out. No, 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 no. Don't follow this dude. He'll try to mug you. And that's a bit of a problem. For a wide variety of reasons. We have got an honest spaceship dealer right over here. We go the correct location. Howdy, bucko! This guy's just a fish with legs. Can I interest you in one of the finest little used spaceships in the galaxy? You look like a man of discerning taste. This one, for example, is just your speed... style, that is. This is quite a unique little unit. Never been flown over Mach 3. It was owned by a little old lady from Glansterdrom. There we go. I had to get all the letters correct. You have to fly it to believe it. And she can be yours for only 99 buckazoids. One-time offer only. Talk to me, friend. Hey, fella, wait up. As long as you're headed in that direction, why don't you let me show you my other fine spacecraft? No obligation whatsoever to you, pal. Just try to be helpful to one in need. Alright, buddy. Let's get a look at... Oh, just take a gander at these beauties, sport. If you see one you like, just give a hoot. I'll stand right over here. No pressure, absolutely none. Although he does kind of harangue you a little bit. Don't let appearances fool you. This baby may be a relic, a classic, but she's as dependable as the day we got her. And just think, you'll be the only one in the quadrant with one. I guarantee it. She's a beaut, isn't she? This little baby can do a spin around the planet in just under an hour. The lines in that bodywork. Oh, they just don't make them like this anymore, you know what I mean? And she's a real bargain at 185 buckazoids. That's not what we want. We want the... Yes, yes, yes. Cool it. Well, there's a man with a keen eye. A good eye. Fuck. Whatever. He's like, hey, yeah, good ship. Perfect for cruising asteroid field. That sounds kind of handy. 214 biggins. Alright, let me give you the money for that, I believe? Okay. So, we've done that. We're not done here yet. I'm saving now just in case it turns out later that we have to go and get keys for this thing. Because we may very well need to, but we're definitely going to need to go pick up some more money at the Rocket Bar. Hey, look, it's the low-budget Blues Brothers. I notice our magnet has disappeared, so we reattach it. Oh, did we run out of cash? No, it just being a little... I guess we didn't have the things equipped. Anyway. Yes, it's just like our old friend Fargo from Chrono Cross. I swear, by the way, one day I'm gonna do the playthroughs of the other routes of that. And I'm not gonna say that I'll enjoy it because I probably won't, but I digress. I love the game, but it's also kind of a pain in the neck, you know? Anyway, let's save real quick. And let him rip. Let's see if we can't get this maxed out and see if it kills us. I'm pretty sure it does. Step back nervously as the overheated slot machine begins to sputter and smoke. Oh, I guess you overheated the port. Well, it didn't kill us, which is a shock, but that's a bit of a problem if you do it at the wrong time, because you will continue to need money. Anyway. Hey there, pal. Shut up, dude. I already have ship. Right? Correct. At 269, which is what we had killed it last time. So we go up here and not touch me. Carbon-based life forms are notoriously filthy creatures. Everyone knows that they veritably ooze tarnishing agents. Do you have anything to say, dude? What do you want now? I was just about finished with my internal diagnostic check. Now I'm going to have to recalibrate my photoelectric scanner memory in all over. Can you tell me anything about very old model? Somehow he looks tired and depressed. I get it. I think the joke is supposed to be like Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide, but he does kind of look more like the robot from Lost in Space. So, Spawn? Oh, he just tells us about it. Okay. Alright, so let's try getting in the ship, and now it should do something like telling us that we need a droid. There are no controls within reach, just a button marked look. Tiny must have been serious when you said you would need to fly this thing. And since you're currently droidless, there seems to be nothing else to climb out. Okay, fair enough. So we get the dude to be able to sell us a droid now. Well, ouch, that hurt. Yeah, we walked into an electric fence. Well, as long as you don't whiz on it, I'm sure it'll... Okay, where do I go to buy a robot? Who? You... die? But, you know, I suppose being helpful is just not in his wheelhouse. Anyway, check around back. And he just shoots us. Well, fair. I was certainly hoping that I'd be able to get into such a position as to uh, go back there without getting the problems. But apparently not. Anyway, yeah. We have no Alright, Fishman, can you, like, help me find a guy who will sell me a droid? By that I mean, can you, like, annoy the effing robot until he decides to be useful? Alright, is the guy still back here? Yes, he is. Well... Well, crud vapors. Anyone around here got anything special to say? No. Speaker to cartoons. Sometimes flare of soft pink mammals. Buzz off, monkey boy. She's not even your species. Oh, I have no idea what's up with the short fellas. Okay. I don't have the time to talk to you. Oh well. Alright, so now I'm at a bit of a loss as to, like, how to do this. So, with how stuck I am here, I'm actually looking this up. Even though, by and large, I feel like I can kind of figure out a large part of this, I feel like I've expended my situations here because there's just a guy who's around the corner who's going to shoot me, so I can't really go over there. Okay, so it says I can go to the right there, so I'm going to ignore the rest of what it said and just go check that that is indeed the case. Go right one screen? Is this instruction that it gave me an actually viable one? Yes! Okay, I didn't even realize because it is such a... yeah. Fine line of robots. Okay, so I'm gonna save in here. In this place with this questionable noise. Sucks 9,000 instead. Like, oh, that's a little obvious. Oh, nav 201. That. Oh. Shit. Do I click to talk at him when the thing is on screen? Okay, yeah, I see that that seems what it but every last one has been snapped up by a movie director from New Japan 4. Sorry. It do kind of look like a very badly drawn Gundam. The who HU1T who wanted, is that what it's supposed to be? Next word. There we go. Tell me about the nav machine. Any modern fighter or cruiser, and it is one of the most experienced droids we carry. 36 with coupon, eh? Required to pay up or perish. Alright, so Hand you the coupon. Alright, so grab the coins, let it roll back around. As much as Sucks 9000 is very funny, I don't think that's gonna be our thing. Where's the next one over? Music is quite annoying. Pick up your purchase at our convenient Droids BS pickup location, located just out the door and to your right. Alright, hey dude. Take a look at my receipt. Oh, he didn't give me a receipt. Shit. Programmed to follow you around like a whimpering little puppy dog. Well. Don't let me walk into the electric fence, buddy. Alright, I'm gonna save real quick, just in case I done fucked it and there's something else I need to do. But for now, I'm getting in. Alright, come on, robot, get in. Once you're seated snugly in the ship's compact cockpit, the robot moves into position and you push the load button. I believe they actually call that restore in Sierra games, but I digress. Hey, wait a minute, where do you think you're going with my ship? Sucks to suck, idiot. We have achieved escape velocity. Might help if you were to tell me where we were going. Please indicate our destination on the touchpad in front of you. Okay, so we were in Sector HD is where we're headed to get to the Deltor. So HD is third from the bottom on the right side list over there. I know that it's partially obscured. I'm just reciting it in case it's that partially obscured. So beep, 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 and beep. So I guess that's 9792. Okay, I'm plotting our course. And off we go! Yes. You know what I love? Drugs. I've never done anything of that sort in my entire life. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, see, this is why we need a ship that's good at navigating asteroid fields. Scan for an ID. Scratching its head. Oh, so I guess the Deltor is the one that attacked us before. Saurian battlecruiser. Better stand off. If we get in any trouble, they'll detect us for sure, and we'll be space spoot 'em. Get out of here, okay, boss? No. What kind of a weenie do I look like? Put your jetpack on. And make your way in. And it's alright, champ. This is a bit of a suicide mission. You are permitted to leave if you don't like that, my friend. Alright, we're saving there. Just in case I gotta do something weird. You're floating in space just outside the biggest darn spaceship you've ever seen. The door. Perhaps it is a way in. That looks like a button. Surely that's not gonna, like, make it belch flames at us. That'd be weird. Spoot him. Anyway. Sneak our way in. Oh, that was rather noisy. I'm sure we're not. But Hope it doesn't explode. Yeah, it sounds like a problem. To be a cockroach. Alert, alert. That thing works. Really. Yeah, I'm sure that that's a bit of a problem, but I'm still trying to get my bearings around. Not me. Got a I got a Swiss Army knife. That's like the main thing I haven't used. I didn't even use the coupon at the bar, despite the fact that it would have helped. Whoop. Well, that works. Okay. I guess the secret sauce was just saying zoop. Anything we knew with the trunk? Oh, we can move it up there. And okay, we're gonna need some tools. This thing looks like a Swiss Army knife. A screwdriver in there. He said a bottle opener. Well, that seemed to work. I'm not too tore up about making a save here because that was like literally 2 buttons we pressed. Let's explore these vents and see what we can find. Right, taking pulse. Does that not go anywhere? It might not go anywhere. This one, however, does. That's good. Are we able to pop this open using the... That doesn't help. Okay. Oh, well, I mean, that worked, so... I'm not ready to save yet. Syrian units. Oh, yeah, he started the washing machine. We're so toast, aren't we? Or maybe this works. I don't know. Might have to barf before then, but... Oh, yeah, I mean, hey, that's a way to get in the darn static cling. Hey, look at that! By the most amazing stroke of luck, you've traded your extremely conspicuous Xenon spacesuit for a Sarian officer's uniform, complete with helmet. Searching the pockets of your newly found disguise, you find the number of possessions you were packing has been greatly reduced. In fact, everything was lost in that limbo void to where socks and baseballs disappear, except one lucky Buckazoid. Ooh, rip and piss our dagger. That could have been useful. But we'll put save number 16 there. And now we should be able to get around without having to go into stealth. In fact, you think your uniform is that of a high-ranking Sarian officer worth sucking up to. Cool. Hey, dude. What's up? Oh, no one is allowed to access the captain's personal. Blah, blah, blah. In fact, come to think of it, I'm not even sure the captain has access to the captain's personal escape pod. Yeah, okay, sure, bud. Just don't tax those green brain cells. Alright, well, let's take the elevator. And it may lead us somewhere useful. This looks like something that will get us killed. Let's just go confirm. And yep, just idiot. Gee, that must have been a pretty powerful energy beam, seeing as how it reduces the pile of carbonized matter. Yeah, figures. I just had to check, but we're not so far back as for that to be an imposition, so whatever. I didn't lose more than like 2 minutes of progress, and most of that was me reciting lines. Either a mega frequency wideband spectrophonic analyzer module or one of those really old table model radios. Words OTA generator, model EC54, Deltor backup unit 1. Well, they wrote it in English for some reason. That's helpful. Seems obvious to you that Wally Wood did some time designing Sarian hardware. But a perfectly useless looking piece of decoration. Oh, yeah, it's definitely an odd choice, I'll say that. Not sure the Sarians are people of much taste. Bottled energy. That just like... Is that supposed to be like that, or what? What's up with this janitor? Possible you've been snubbed. Well, like the broom? Oh. He tries to shove us. I wasn't sure if the broom might have been useful, you know? Oh, there's a big boy up there. Down there. Cowabunga, Wilco, this is it. It's the unimaginably powerful star generator, which must not, at any cost, be allowed to remain in the hands of the Sarians. That right? Biggest, toughest, not to mention ugliest Sarian guard you have ever seen. At present, he is diligently guarding the star generator from intruders such as yourself. He's wearing some sort of gadget on his belt, but from here you can't tell what its purpose might be. I think it's a self-destruct mechanism. I highly doubt that, but... Nope. Show me your ID card so I can scurry off and fetch a weapon. Why they don't just wire me into the ship's system so I would know who without an ID card is beyond even my supreme. Okay, I don't have an ID card yet, so... right, what's up? A robot serves behinds the counter. Good typo there. So I guess the other one probably was a bit of a typo. Appearance is that of a plain and unintelligent droid, but then looks can be deceiving, as in your case. Alright, so that's not really the best thing for us here. Can we, like, throw this Buckazoid at this guy? No. Well. Perhaps there's still more stuff for us to do in the area where are a little bit not, in the other area where the elevators started up. Or I can shove this coin into this other thing. It's just like using a penny as a fuse, like in Eternal Darkness, right? We all know that's exactly how that sort of thing would work, right? Totally sensible. Anything going on over here? Oh yeah, this is a place that looks like something. For ugly, smelly, green, planet-destroying murderers, the Sarians appear to have a great sense of aesthetics. I mean, you could call it that, but I prefer to think of it as a color scheme that emerged in the early 90s that didn't last for perhaps many years. Excuse me, sir. I'm apparently not allowed to use that part of the hallway. This way looks like a different hallway entirely. A tiny little sign tacked in front on the front lead reads "Wits End Coil. Disconnect from power supply before servicing." I give up. You tell me what it is. Nice. If I ever make an adventure game, that's clearly going to be a description somewhere. Yeah. Okay, so there's a room up there at the end of that path, so can we figure out how to get over there? That might end up proving useful. Okay, yeah, so the point to be able to move that is a very specific pixel. That's rather odd, and it literally just sort of leads us in a circle. Hey, do you want a $1? Maybe try bribe the guard guy? 'Cause otherwise, I'm sort of running out of options, you know? Go in here. Soft. Yeah, I know we're not allowed to special with. It looked like a thing that stood out. Other option. Throw the coin at the electric thing? No. I didn't think it would do anything anyway. I just wanted to be sure that it was an option. Actually, can we, like, just go unplug some cables in this thing? That's with it. Oh, well. Right. Robot is in standby. Maybe it's coin operated. No. It doesn't even have a message for it, like, you can't do that here. Can't throw a coin at that guy. I missed the first message there. I thought it would get skipped. Coin? Want some money? No. But that saying that doesn't help suggests to me something that wow. Are you practicing walk? I was hoping he'd get, like, he does if I keep. But I am thus far at a bit of a loss. Hey, do you want money, dude? How you doing, son? Sir? Oh, sorry, I'm taking up the Earth link because then I can get in better. Okay. Maturation and reproduction. Sounds gross. Well, so far this is yielding a minimum of fruit. I may have to reload further back. Can't bribe this guy, can I? Oh, the game doesn't even have a response for it. Got anything else to say? Or might I find the star generator? Oh. Yeah, that's it. Wonder when game designers are ever going to stop using that same old worn out cliche about people. I mean, fair, but I know I even heard that growing up, so as a joke, I don't think anyone in my family. Okay. Grab his thing, you arrogant green butts. I appreciate the fact that he doesn't like respond to that. Oh, he's blocking the path. I mean, fair enough, but I didn't realize that was a thing. And sorry, I just want to get through. He sees me and salutes me again. Like, dude, we have just done this song and dance. Yeah, I figured this was the end. Hey, buddy. Damn, that's quite the short. Hey, you. Ah, yeah, it's the sun guy. Well, I'm back to not really knowing what to do, so perhaps I gotta reload to. Let's try to save number 15. Push this back. I suppose maybe we actually explore enough of the air ducts here. So we ought to give that a bit more of a going over. Maybe there's some other. I have a feeling that like one of them. Death. It's a Sierra game, of course it will, but at least it's something to do. Okay, it seems to have gone in a loop. Yeah, I went in a loop. No, 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 no. Yeah, that's instant death. Good job there. Blammo! Those pulse ray pistols sure are effective little weapons. Even after it kills you, your meat continues to cook to a nice golden brown. Try not to get shot in the future. Even if your life isn't worth much, think about the rest of the universe. Wow, alright. So, yeah, I'm stumped. I feel like I've tried everything. So, what's our... Let's go find out. All I have left is data cartridge. Why do I not have... Huh, okay. Okay, so I... Oh, I see it. There we go. Buxton Freem. Okay, so it fell out. Yeah, so I done screwed up at some point apparently because I guess I was supposed to get the data cartridge back from the thing. I forgot that that was not automatic. probably in like a lot of my haste to be like, okay, yeah, let's skip past content we've seen before. So the point here is that we're not getting the best ending out of the deal. Tragically. But oh, welcome to the weapons dispensary, I guess. I've got an IQ of 5,000, but still I'm only good enough to fetch weapons like a puppy dog. You guys really like to consider whimpering puppies, don't you? Oh, how clever. You have an ID card and my, what a lovely photo of a proto or biped you have too. I guess I'll use my vast resources to fetch your silly weapon for you. Please wait here if you can handle such a simple command. I make noises when he walks. They must not have upgraded your pacing too much, champ. Oh, takes a while, that's all. Alright, what'd you get me? It's some kind of piece. Pulsary laser gun. Remember, this isn't a play toy. Question mark? No, but I want to have that ready because it might be useful to us. And we can shoot him. Oh, we've got a weapon, so that's helpful, I guess. It still doesn't solve this issue, which is a bit of a problem. Alright, let's wait until this dude isn't looking, and then see what we can do with our shiny new thingamabob here. Corner, please. Yeah, I didn't think. Okay. Oop. All right. Well, our cover does not seem to have been blown from that, so that's cool. What? My helmet. Yep. Well, there goes that guy. Ate my helmet, and then he stepped on me. Wow. He ate my pencil. Why aren't you the clumsy one? This is your inability to walk without falling on your face. Your helmet has been collected by the trash droid. Now you've blown your cover. The Sarians are sure to shoot first and ask questions. Better than shoot first and ask questions, maybe, I guess. Well, now we're going to have to sneak up on, like, all of them and out the old-fashioned way. Oh, crap. He turned around. Well, he missed a couple of times at least. Classic Stormtrooper levels of AI there. Well, that did something all right. Good shooting, Tex. You really did it now, Wilco. Don't you know that macromat field integrators are extremely fragile pieces of equipment, and indiscriminately shooting at them with a pulse ray gun can be hazardous to your health? Yes, apparently, but I digress. So now I got to go through that sequence again of all the waiting and sitting around. Yeah, I forgot to save after that. That's a my bad. There you go. Yeah, he's taking his sweet time, relishing in superiority. Hey, there we go. That's the save. Oh, well, that's great. I guess in that case, let's wait around and shoot this dude. Shoot. That did absolutely nothing. All right, that's fine. Okay, save that over as save number 18. Imagine the amount of space this would have taken up on a time. Got him. I'll resave over that just to make sure that we get the actual amount of saves here. So we, very little has happened, but it does count as progress. So, oh, hey. All right. God, I think they're respawning. I wish we could get our helmet back from this. Well, that was shockingly easy. We go in the escape pod. Well, I mean, we can go to it now at least, so that's good. I don't expect that doing that is a good idea. But at least we have a way off the ship. Look at him go, just like going along. That like holes in the wall, man. I can definitely. I clicked on the frame of the thing a little bit. So if the If the scaling suddenly got wonky, it was for me, like, trying to mash buttons. Make sure I don't get moited. Oh, yeah, this guy's back. Okay, save. Assume that, like, trying to shoot any of this would be a bad idea if any of this case. He almost got me around the corner. A real tough individual. I am now, once again, back to being uncertain as to where I can go. Thank goodness these guys have, like, stormtrooper level names, so... Actually, like, shift to our weapon. It'll take us a second or two. Yeah. Meanwhile, apparently Roger Wilco is able to aim perfectly because we all know that he is some sort of expert in the field of using a gun. It's definitely a weapon of the same class as a... Well, you can't do that from here. It's a little different than... whatever. I guess going in the elevator is probably a safer option anyway. Kinda... Smo. Kinda true. That's fragile. Despite the fact that saying it looks fragile, it seems like useful information. Not getting me in. On it. You haven't, like, sniffed anything. I didn't think so. Oh. Yeah, I know that makes sense. I didn't realize that was even a thing I could do, because I hadn't noticed that it was an interactable before. Excuse me. Bye, nerd. Chase this. Watch me just dodge past all these. Okay, well, I'll be right back again, and then I'll try to look this up because I am absolutely lost now. All right, everybody, I'm back, and guess what? I missed something that really doesn't feel very obvious, and I will go and do that. We have to go back to before we get the pistol, but after we're in the uniform. And go back to the gun store. Now tell me if you spot the thing that we're supposed to click on. Because this doesn't really look like a place where there's a whole lot of real detail, right? Okay, so let the guy go through. Grab a grenade. And now get back past here. Close the thing. Might be out of position. But I'm sure he won't mind if we just sort of look at his wares, right? Which is all we were doing. We totally didn't steal a gas grenade. Right? Yeah, see? Oh, it doesn't tell us specifically it's a gas grenade, I guess. Not until actually doing it. File 18. Ah, that right. Got that on the guy, and he is down for the count. Because those gases were that vile. Unfortunately, this does still kind of leave us no near our target locations as such. Because I don't quite know how to get through that electrical barrier, which we're going to have to do. I was going to say, this guy doesn't seem to respond well to much to sound, huh? But, yeah. Oh, you, sir, are not going to hit me at close range. Good old stormtrooper ass accuracy, right? Okay, so here's where I'll save as save file number 18. I was gonna say I killed the music. It didn't quite, but close. Okay, I see the problem here. I do once again have the thing open in the background. Sort of our emergency, but it says go right 2 screens, and you are joshing me, game. Where do I click in here that will let us write 2 screens? Oh, it... Wait, what? Hold on a second. Is it just a timing thing for the fucking laser beam? That's really stupid if so, because I'm rereading. Yeah, okay, so it literally is just a timing issue. I thought we had to do an actual thing here. Alright, now let's rifle through his pockets and steal his loose chain. It's not the that's supposed to be the Sputnik? Match that to the thing. Works. Alright, so I probably should step back so I can actually click the little... Okay, enter code. So what do we have in there? 9598. Question, are we allowed to type this? We are. Interesting. Have a nice day. Yeah, thank you. Alright, folks, it's time to book it. There's my proper cursor. I want to actually click into... there we go. This guy can't hit the broadside of a barn. I'm the fuck out of here. And that should just get us out. Kaboom! Nice. Well, I believe that's it. We didn't get the best ending because I did a dumb and forgot that a thing was not automatic. Even though I thought it was last time, but hey. We've destroyed it, and ultimately it's one of those things like, hey, maybe we don't deserve to have this. It's like the scenario with the Brassicans at the end of Star Trek Judgment Rights. Now, if only you'd been smart enough to bring along the data cartridge containing the construction specifications, we'd be able to build a new star generator, thereby saving Xenon from the horrors of a rapidly growing planet. Oh, well, you are just a janitor. It's fine, just set some shit on fire. It'll fix itself eventually. It is my honor to present you with the coveted Golden Mop, a symbol of pride and accomplishment to members of your esteemed profession. Don't worry, dude, I actually do remember where it is. It's just kind of out of the way. Henceforth and for all time, you will be known as Hero of Xenon. Well, we done it. We did pretty good. Received your profession's most noble tribute and got the girl. What girl? Wait a minute, there wasn't any girl. Sorry. Oh, you got the mop anyway. From now on, Xenon's your oyster. All you have to do now is sit back, and I didn't get to read the whole text. Now as the blue sun sets on the peaceful blue planet, Xenon and Roger Wilco's first adventure. God, these texts are going too fast for me to read. Well, credits time. We beat the game. It's a Sierra adventure game. I mean, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of like thinky stuff that's involved with it. However, there's definitely some times where things are a little bit on the crappy side. There's some very serious sensitivity with regard to where you can get on and off screen. That's a bit of a problem. There's a couple of puzzles that are just like, how are you supposed to hash this out? Are you just supposed to literally notice every pixel that's different and click on it? And the answer is yes, but my brain isn't quite good enough for that sort of thing, so... But setting that aside, again, by the standards, I think this is pretty good, and I've seen games that are significantly more finicky in this regard. And listen, even the good adventure games are very frequently home to at least one monstrously stupid, obscure thing. Like, I didn't think to click on the poster the first time I played Myst. I had to look that up. I also got fooled by the positional audio thing with the elevator that takes you to Channelwood the first time, so... But yeah, we're here to talk about this game, right? This is the game that we just finished. This is the one that we're talking about, that we're thinking about. And I do not dislike it. As usual, you've been most entertaining. Well, that window is a little bit out of position. That's weird. So, yeah, setting that aside, it's a very fun game. A lot of the writing is quite humorous. There's quite a lot of pastiches and references and stuff of that to a lot of classic sci-fi. So I guess, hey, there's proof that there's a canon of sorts there. Surprisingly, it feels like relatively little Star Wars references compared to Star Trek or stuff like that. But I think that probably works a little better. I feel like, and maybe this will annoy some nerds, but I always kind of feel like Star Trek is one of those series that's a little bit more serious than Star Wars at bare minimum. Or at least it's less watered down. which there's advantages to the level of presentation in both of those cases. I don't want to start too many fights about this. I'll start fights about other stupid shit, but this not so much. But just as a brief thing, it's not so much my bag, this game compared to pardon me, Star Wars compared to Star Trek. This game, however, it's okay. You definitely need to be in a sort of very specific brain position to be able to do this and to think about how this sort of thing works. And yes, I can't say that I would recommend it to every single person who plays video games, but I believe that's true of all adventure games in general. Like, it's a very niche audience. As much as I wish there were more people who like them and that there were more of them being made out there, because I think it's a very good game genre and it's one that I think a lot of people overlook nowadays. It sort of sits in a very similar way of overlooked game genre, I guess, to RPGs, though. But the difference in those, in terms of how, like, I can understand a little bit more not being into so many point and click adventure games, because for a lot of people, they are going to feel a little bit less gamey and way more thinky by comparison, and even slower somehow. I think that a lot of the opposition to RPGs, especially of the turn-based variety, is for other reasons that I don't really want to get into. But yeah, considering that, Space Quest is a game from this genre that is well remembered for a very good reason. And if you're looking for a game of this type that you want to get into, this one is significantly less unfair than a lot of others. And as you can see, it's quite short. It is purchasable on Steam as part of the Space Quest collection, by the way. Let me go ahead and pull up that one real quick. Yeah, it's a $20 base price, so it probably goes to less than that off and on. It is, however, published by Activision, so maybe that's something you want to consider doing it the way I did, which is that I was using Scum VM for it. Asterisk, though, since I own it, well, I didn't even use the files from Scum VM. In fact, I think these actually are emulated basically through a version of Scum VM, possibly DOSBox instead. No, I think it's DOSBox. Never mind. Whatever. Similar sort of software to allow you to play older games on newer PCs. And yeah, a very large amount of these classic games are powered by DOSBox on Steam and stuff like that. But I think that's enough of me waffling. If this style of game seems appealing to you, this isn't a bad place to start on them. And that's all. Next time. I'll see you next time.